Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I'm very excited to be part of this open collab hosted by Sonia from Domestic Diva. This is going to be such a fun collab. It is a Christmas morning collab and we are showing what we make for Christmas morning. I am actually going to be trying out a new recipe and you can't really see it, but it's right there. And I was not disappointed. It will definitely be something that we remake, probably time and time again. So anyway, I am making cinnamon rolls for Christmas morning. I followed the recipe for the most part, but kind of did my own thing, sort of. But I will get sort of into that, I guess. I made it the day before, so like I could make it Christmas Eve and then have it ready to go Christmas morning, if that makes sense. So I did that, and instead of using a KitchenAid mixer, which I just have never used for dough, I used my bread machine. So anyway, I am going to show you how to make these cinnamon rolls. I will have the link to the recipe I used down below. The recipe makes a double batch, but I just halved everything because I didn't know we were going to like it, and it turns out we did, so the next time I will definitely do a double batch. But anyway, let's get on to it, and I will show you how to make these. So for this recipe, like I said, I'm going to use my bread machine to make the dough. The recipe calls for a KitchenAid or stand mixer, but I decided just to use my dough function on my underused bread machine. So what I added first was 1 cup of warm water and then 1/8 of a cup of vegetable oil. Next up, I will be adding my flour, and that was 3 cups of flour. Like I said, the recipe I have is for double dough, and I'm just doing 1 batch instead of 2, but I will definitely make the double batch next time. So this is just 3 cups of flour. Be adding my salt and sugar, and it is 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, and then 1 package of active dry yeast goes into the middle of that. Then I'm just gonna shut the lid and press the menu button until I get to the dough setting, and all this does is make the dough and lets it rise. It kneads it. It does all the work for me. I found this little awesome bread machine at a thrift store like 8 years ago, and I just love it. When I do make my doughs, I usually do it in this. I've never tried a stand mixer, but maybe one day I will venture out and do that as well. There it is. Next up is the not so fun part. After my dough was made and rose, I think it took like 1.5 hours in my bread machine, I just put it on a heavily floured surface, and I could have probably used more flour, to be honest. This is a very sticky dough. Well, I don't think it was supposed to be. But because I did it in my bread machine, I couldn't tell the consistency. That's probably why she recommended a stand mixer, because you can see if it's coming off of the sides when you use the dough hook, and you were supposed to add more flour as needed, but I didn't do that. Even though I had a little bit of a hard time rolling this dough out because it is so sticky, and you'll see that in a few minutes. Honestly, I wanted to throw the dough away. But eventually I got it to work, so
it took a lot longer than I expected, and next time out I might just do it the way she on the recipe called for, just to see if it does make a difference. But like I said, even though I wanted to throw this dough away because it was driving me crazy, and it seemed like at that moment nothing was going right. Of course, right? When you're already like irritated with something, everything else goes wrong. But this turned out really good after a while. See how it gets stuck on that? Oh, it's just like I'm irritated just thinking about it. But it does. It comes together eventually, and it turned out so good. I'm so glad I didn't give up and that I just kept with it and kept doing it, because if not, I wouldn't have found like the best recipe I've found so far. After making this, it kind of sparked my interest in making homemade breads again. I used to make homemade bread once in a while, but instead of cooking it in the bread machine, I like to actually take it out and put it in loaf pans. I just think that it turns out a little bit better, and you don't have that thing that spins the dough stuck in your bread. So, anyway. So we're just going to keep working with this until it finally comes together. And then after that, we are going to do the filling, cut it up, put it in our pan, and put it in the fridge overnight. The recipe does not call for it to go in your fridge overnight. I did that just one to see how it would turn out, and it turns out fine. And two, I would think it would be a lot easier to make the dough the night before, or the actual rolls. That way in the morning when you first wake up after Santa Claus has come or whatever, you can put your dough on the counter and just let it set out for a little while, and then pop it in the oven, and breakfast is served. It's a quick come together recipe, so I really enjoyed it. I hope that you do too. I did not shape this perfectly well, and to be honest, I was just more scared of it breaking again. So I finally just got it to what I thought, okay, this will work. Normally you do more of like a rectangle shape instead of like an oblong shape. But you just cut off your ends and you'll be fine. I even used the ends and it turned out fine. So I am going to brush on, let's see, a 1/4 cup of melted butter. And then you also see me dump my brown sugar on. And what that is a tablespoon of cinnamon and 1 cup of brown sugar. And I'm just going to pack that on there as well. Now we're just going to start and roll it up pretty tightly And when we get to the end, we're going to kind of pinch and seal our edges and then cut it up and put it in a greased pan. I'm doing a cute little Christmas tree pan, but you could do a 9x13 baking dish or cake pan, whatever you have. I just thought the Christmas tree pan would be fun for Christmas, and it turned out a little bit festive, so I just thought that was cute and it worked out pretty well. I was so scared this dough was gonna start tearing. I was like, please just let me get through this. Like I said, I'm really glad that I stuck with it because it turned out really good. So I'm going to finish pinching these edges for the ones that came loose, and then just kind of shove them in my pan the best I can. After that, I am going to cover it with some plastic wrap and put it in the fridge overnight and just let it rise.
So I took these out of the fridge this morning when I woke up, and they've been sitting on the counter for about a little over an hour, and they are ready to bake. So 350 degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to check them in 20 minutes and see where they're at. But while they are baking, I'm going to go ahead and make the frosting. And I'll show you how to do that in just 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to use a cup of powdered sugar. a teaspoon of vanilla, this is a quarter cup, yeah, a quarter cup of melted butter, and then just a little bit of milk. Yeah, baby. Yeah. And to me, that is the perfect consistency, but it does not look like enough frosting for all those cinnamon rolls, so I'm going to actually go ahead and add some more powdered sugar and milk. You can have that. You want that? Not right now. I'm going to do breakfast first, okay? Alright, and then we will just see how far that gets us when they come out and cool a little bit. So they were in the oven for about 22 minutes, and then I let them cool to where I could touch the pan, and now we're going to ice them. You ready? Do you want me to pour it on, or do you want to scoop it out of there? Okay. Yeah.
I just whipped it.
Did you? Oh, don't put that back on the cinnamon rolls, okay? Use this one. You can lick it when they're all iced, okay? Good job. You're doing so good.
You want to try it?
You want me to try it?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Are you done icing them? You are. See, now you just want to eat them, huh? Yeah? Okay. Alright, here they are. A delicious Christmas morning treat in a fun little pan. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this recipe. They are so good. I've been searching for a good homemade cinnamon roll recipe for a very long time. I've made homemade ones before, and they always turn out dense or dry, or they're just not like real cinnamon roll consistency. And these definitely are the best ones I've ever made homemade. I was going to say though, if you have a cinnamon roll recipe, I would love to try out different ones and find the most perfect one. These were really, really good, and will probably be the ones I make and remake again until I can find an even better recipe. So, if that is something that you have stashed away in your pile of recipes, let me know down below. That would be super exciting for me to be able to try it. Cinnamon rolls are a huge hit in my family. We love them. And I'd like to try out new ones. So anyway, aside aside from that, if you are new here, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you enjoyed what you see. On my channel, okay. On my channel, you will see mostly grocery hauls and recipes mixed in. That is what I do here on Missouri Grown, Carolina Home. So if that is something you enjoy, I hope that you will stick around and subscribe. And until next time. Oh, thanks Sonia for hosting this awesome collab. Check out Domestic Diva. Her link will be down below, as well as the playlist to this awesome collab. Until next time. Bye, friends.